And we have to do the newspapers, but we have a special money moment. Let me see today whether I have money.
Oh, see if you have money. Even if you don't, you will. This one is not hard.
Sometimes I hide money in my socks.
Roland is not hard.
I hide.
Serious? You're so weird. Where do you live?
You know,
in Ghana? Or in Yaya Jame's Ghana?
I'm telling you, I'm hiding from Yaya Jame's.
It's 34 minutes after 6. It's a little money moment here on the AM show where we put our bits of the contribution in our money box. We put 10 Ghana cedis every weekday. Me, no hustle. I have my 10 Ghana. 10 Ghana for your pocket.
Look at
hey, Roland, hey, we are chisel, Papa.
It's not easy.
So this is my 10 Ghana. Roland's struggling to put his 10 Ghana.
A lot of discipline.
10 Ghana cedis out.
Please. This one is just symbolic. We say it every morning. It's just to encourage you to be voting. Sorry. To be putting money in this box.
Today is the 18th of January. So how is it going? We started off, I think, on the 2nd of January because that was the beginning
we did.
Of the working week for us. We hope
in
that
the new year.
Yeah, in the new year. We hope that you've caught up, you started, and you are on it. Don't worry, January is a little hard for those of us who don't get the 13th month, but it will be over soon, and we'll get over it. So we encourage you to keep saving. Yeah, I haven't said anything. I said those of us.
Okay.
Yeah, including the many people that you are referring to. All I'm encouraging you, to realize is that January will be over soon. How many more weeks to go?
To January?
End January for us to get our salaries.
I think by the close of this week, we have one more week.
And then a few days.
And one or two other days.
So if they have mercy on us, then they'll pay us next week. Otherwise, it will continue. But have you paid your child's school fees yet? Have you paid those school fees yet? Very important. Maybe we can talk about it later on. But let's do the newspapers. Roland will start the graphic. Yes, sure. Front page of the Daily Graphic. This is the man that I absolutely like.
It's because of him that I watched some few minutes of the match. Because they did yet.
Andre Dede Ayew is on the front page of the Daily Graphic. Obviously because he scored that goal, that penalty, and put in that 1-0 for us. We ended the game with 1-0, by the way. Election officials chase EC for unpaid allowances. Ministry promises payments. Mrs. Charlotte Osei is on the front page of the paper. Tribunal to hear Ghana-Cote d'Ivoire dispute February 6, 16. What's that? Business booms at Asante Hime's burial. Back page of the paper, Stars win over Cranes. But is it a win that, we're all so confident about? Like, are we sure that we go into our second game and perform like we did with this one? How about all the wasted opportunities?
With the Black Stars, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, let me just share a bit of some of the stories on the front page. Just a little bit, two of them. One, I'm not so clear about the tribunal here in Ghana-Cote d'Ivoire case because the date is not so clear. This one says 200,000 election officials who were engaged by the Electoral Commission for the conduct of the December 7 presidential and parliamentary elections are yet to be paid their allowances. We're talking 200,000 election officials. This is due to the delay by the Ministry of Finance in releasing the money to the EC for onward payment to the returning officers, presiding officers, and ballot paper issuers. Following the delay in the payment of the allowances, some of the election officials have placed calls to threaten the EC, but the government has given an assurance that part payments will be made to them this week. The head of communications at the EC, Eric Jakpasu, told the Daily Graphic yesterday that the government approved the amount running into hundreds of Ghana cedis for the election officials, printers and suppliers before the elections. However, he said the ministry was yet to release the money to the EC to enable it effect payment to the election officials, printers and suppliers. Amazing. We had such an incredible election, largely violent free. We've had We've gone on to have a beautiful inaugural ceremony, and here we are not with the election officials who took part in the exercise not having been paid, that kind of thing. Let's move on quickly to page 16. Hopefully I can better understand the story of this dispute with Côte d'Ivoire. And it says, hearing of the dispute concerning the delimitation of the maritime boundary dispute between Ghana and Côte d'Ivoire in the Atlantic Ocean has been scheduled for hearing from February 6 to 16, 2017. Okay, so what it is the graphic made a little error because it's 2017, but they put February 6, 16 on the front page. Yeah, but this is pardonable because a lot of us, once the changes.
It's true.
Yeah, you easily forget that it's 17.
The graphic editor has not moved into 2017.
No, he has. It was just an error.
It's a serious.
But that's it for the graphic newspaper.
It's a serious one. Now let's look at the Ghanaian Times. It's on the front page. Police arrest 6 in BA, Bonafo region. Post-election disturbances still continue. And you have Superintendent Sefasatha, Director of Police Public Relations. First batch of ministerial nominees to face Parliament on Friday. And then we have King Mohammed.
Of Morocco visiting Ghana.
The 6th of Morocco to visit Ghana. Mashallah, 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 mashallah.
What's that? What does it mean?
Mashallah, mashallah. And then you have the back page, Black Stars. They break the back of the cranes. Did you watch the match?
I listened to commentary. Black Stars match. Sit down and watch TV. I'll listen to commentary.
When people are going blind, they avoid TV.
I listen to radio commentary.
I can imagine. You don't want to visually be heartbroken.
I listen to the BBC radio commentary.
Charlie.
And sometimes
it's live on the BBC too.
Yeah, and it's live on Joy FM. It's the same transmission on Joy FM. But Asempa Sports also does the commentary, and sometimes I listen to the Asempa commentary.
That's Asempa on Adom FM too.
Yeah.
I was listening to Asempa yesterday, and they were describing the thing. No, Bobo, no,
no, it's Siembako.
Asamoah.
Let's do the final newspaper. $1 billion CDB loan can't be paid. P-Access indebtedness to Ghana Gas compromises repayment. State institutions owe Ghana Gas $340.49 million as of June 2016. Also, dozens of Ghanaians die in Libya. 2,198 perished in road accident in 2016. Otumfuo's moving tribute to his late mother. Gold output falls 7% to 1.9. Okay, Roland, what does this represent? 1.91 something ounces in January to September 2016. Okay, so this is a little bit technical for me. You can read the details in the paper, but I certainly want to touch on
1.9 million ounces. That's a lot.
Oh, so this is million.
I think so.
Oh, okay. Page 4 in the Finder. Okay, so it says that provisional road traffic crashes data has revealed that 2,198 people were killed in 2016 in road accident. 2,198
We have to call the Road Safety Commission
here. This means that on the average, nearly 183 people were killed every month in 2016. A total of
183
every month. A total of 11,293 people sustained various degrees of injury in 12,510 reported accident cases involving 19,495 vehicles. More statistics in the Finder newspaper. You can grab the paper and read a lot more on the stories featured in the paper. Today we've got to touch base with Benedict Akwesi-Dankwa, who is in Gabon.
Yes.
For us. I'm interested in knowing, what kind of celebrations went down after the game yesterday.
Okay, so is he on the line?
Benedict is joining us. Hello, Benedict. He's live on your screens right now.
Benedict, how are you?
Hi, Benedict. Okay, we seem to have lost Benedict there, but hopefully we'll be able to re-establish contact with Benedict. Just before I let go of the finder, though, there's this story on page 5, and it says, oh, okay, hang on, Roland. There's this story, okay, yeah, the Libyan stories here. Information reaching the finder indicates that dozens of Ghanaians have reportedly been killed in Libya following an attack on a community largely inhabited by blacks. So there are still a lot of Ghanaians in Libya, apparently. You can read more of the story. Let's try and see if we can establish contact with Benedict, also in Gabon now. Hello, Benedict. Benedict, can you hear us now?
Hi, Mama V, how are you?
I am very well. I don't know, but
yes, Mama V, I can hear you loud and clear. I miss you too. I miss you guys. I miss you, Roland, Gomez, Fred, and all the other guys there. Sorry, I miss everyone.
Okay, Benedict, how was that goal celebrated yesterday?
Well, for the few Ghanaians that were at the stadium, the goal came at the right time because the Black Stars, before when we scored, were playing very well. As Christian Achu and Daniel Amate were doing very well and were piling pressure on. Most people were looking forward to that goal, and God being so good, we had a penalty through Asamoah Gyan's intelligence. It was amazing how yesterday we had lots of fans from Mali supporting the Black Stars. The Ghanaians that
seem to still have some challenges with Benedict. I was really looking forward to a clean feed this time around, but Benedict also in Gabon for us. Hopefully, he sent us a few things that we can play back to you. Roland, we're not done with the papers?
I think we're done for now. Let's do some online portals. We go to myjoyonline.com. Before we get the gentleman back on stream, let's look at this. It says cancer my bag. I think it's an article. We go to the next.
NPP members should reflect Akufo-Addo's character. You can read more about it. Let's move on. Government renews curfew hours on Bumprugu, and Mr. Ambrose Derry, the Minister Designate of the Interior, has, on the advice of the Northern Regional Security Council and by executive instrument, renewed the curfew hours on the Bumprugu Township. Is he working already because he's not been passed by Parliament, his Minister Designate? But, you know, what's at the center of it is more important, I guess. You can read more about this curfew and the new hours on myjoyonline.com. Let's move on. Fidelity Bank picks 2 international awards. We say congratulations to the bank. I have no lease agreement with government. Rawlings dismisses land claim. And there are documents out to the effect that land has been leased to him for a certain number of years. Is it like 99 years? And he pays 10 Ghana cedis or something of the sort. There are more details. You can check it out on myjoyonline.com. Let's move on. Ayariga writes to Akufo-Addo on unconstitutional nomination of senior minister. Akufo-Addo must speak against violent takeovers. Match ratings, how the Black Stars fared against Uganda. Pressure mounts on Akufo-Addo to remove energy sector levies. Calls for Nana Akufo-Addo-led government to review the energy sector levy in a bid to prevent constant hikes in the price of petroleum products have intensified. Government urged to separate MTTD from police to end road carnage. That's also a call coming there. You can read that feature on myjoyonline.com. Increases in petroleum prices to continue. More stories on myjoyonline.com. And MyJoy Online also updates you when you visit the site on what's happening at Menchia with regards the final funeral rites of the late Asante Hema. Let's do City FM. Ex-Minister backs Rawlings' request for state land. Disqualified Efri Akoto for endorsing GMOs. That's according to Food Sovereignty. Reduced taxes on fuel products. Chamber of Petroleum Consumers seem to be calling. Rawlings needed land for foundation, not for personal use, according to his aide. All right, that's it for City FM Online. Let's do BBC Roland. Nigerian Jets mistakenly bombs refugee, and this is extremely sad, you know, very, very sad. About 50 persons, according to the report, killed, several others injured. You know, they thought they were targeting Boko Haram militants, and what they had actually targeted was a refugee camp. So we have some Red Cross persons, about 6 of them killed, and a lot more of them from within Nigeria, the Red Cross people injured in this attack. I mean, it's very shameful. I don't know if it was preventable, it could have been avoided or whatever, but they said they got intelligence, so they thought they were targeting Boko Haram, not knowing these were very innocent people in a camp that had been, you know, hit. Very, very sad incident. And holiday makers to be returned from Gambia. Thousands of Thomas Cook tourists will return from Gambia to the UK after Foreign Office advice. We know that there's an emergency. How do they call that? State of emergency in the Gambia. Thank you, Patrick Gomez. In the Gambia, what does it mean? The man is supposed to leave office on the 19th, which is tomorrow, and he's put a state of emergency in place.
You think Gambia is Ghana, you do election, you change over and do all this. My friend.
Can Africa, I've got a huge, can Africa solve this Gambia problem?
You mean those who went there?
No.
Former President John.
Can Africa solve the Gambia problem?
They can't.
Because, you see, what we don't want is another Libya on our hands. We don't want another Libya.
Sure
we don't want any Western interference.
And apparently, let's look at the story. Egypt adds ex-footballer to terror lists. Let's look at this.
Yeah, we can open it up. Oh, funding the Brotherhood.
Apparently, Egypt has added ex-footballer Mohamed Abutrika. You know, he was one-time CAF African champion.
This is a very famous name.
League.
I mean,
Abutrika, and then CAF Player of the Year to a terror list for his alleged links with the banned Muslim Brotherhood. And Abutrika is accused of financially supporting the Brotherhood, which Egypt considers a terrorist organization. We're told that in 2020 he endorsed a successful presidential bid by Mohamed Morsi, a Brotherhood member, who ultimately became the elected leader.
So he was even BBC African Footballer of the Year back
and
in
later
2008.
became CAF Footballer of the Year too. Any person named on the country's terror list is subject to a travel ban and faces having their passports and assets frozen.
Oh, wow.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
Oh.
May God give him grace.
Oh, but apparently he had not been formally notified or any of the charges against him. So they say they will appeal. Oh my God. Okay, this is one of the stories that you hear. You just read it.
You know, he used to play for El Ahly, so El Ahly were always winners of the CAF Champions League all the time for a streak of.
What, they're not exactly free to associate in
it's always like that. You know, when there's regime change, sometimes these things, your association.
Well.
You know.
Okay, well, but there are more stories on the websites that we visited. We encourage you to check out more of the stories on myjoyonline.com. We have sports coming up. Asari Bediako is on standby. Hopefully, he'll be able to have
some interaction with Benedict also.
Yeah.
Why is it we're not getting a clean feed to Gabon?
Because I hear internet connectivity in Gabon. Not the best is an underestimation. It's terrible in Gabon.
Welcome to Africa.
So, all right. So Asari will try and get Benedict and have a conversation with him. I'm loving Ghana like every day when I see what's happening in other African countries. Stay with us. It's just 53 minutes after 6 on the AM show. Today we'll bring you more of what is happening at Menchia with the funeral or the final funeral rites of the late Asante Hima. The last day will be tomorrow, Thursday. Asari Bidiako is on your screens in a bit with sports here on the AM Show.